The rains that returned to Virelen after 13 years of drought. They didn't fall gently. They carved paths through the bone-dry hills like veins reawakening in a long-dead body. The earth drank desperately, greedily, and with it came the blooming of memory root, crimson and wild, bursting through cracks in old stones and doorways sealed since the last war. In the city below the northern cliffs, the one they called the Hollow Crown, people whispered that the dead were remembering how to feel. I didn't believe in ghosts, not in the way others did, but I believed in echoes, in stories repeating. In pain that had nowhere else to go, curling around spines and settling into marrow, I worked as an archivist beneath the glass dome of the old palace, cataloguing fragments of pre-fall magic. Cursed trinkets, half-burnt letters, relics soaked in grief. We kept them in iron cases, labeled them with warnings no one read. That's where I found the locket. It wasn't supposed to hum. Nothing in the archive was. But when I opened it, something inside, not in sound, not in light, but in knowing. A name struck my mind like lightning through calm water, not someone I remembered, but someone who remembered me. I tried to return the locket, seal it, report it, but every time I closed it, it reappeared on my desk, waiting patient like it had always been mine. The first dream came 3 nights later. I stood in a field of ash-colored grass beneath a sky hung with 2 moons, one silver, one red. A man waited by the broken tree at the center, cloaked in shadows that shifted like smoke, his face hidden, but his voice, that voice felt carved into my bones. "You promised you'd come back," he said. I woke with blood on my fingertips and the taste of iron in my mouth. I began to search through restricted archives, through spell weaves etched into cathedral glass, through songs older than written language. What I found wasn't a memory, it was a binding. 2 souls split in war, one sealed into time, the other made to forget. And I was the one who forgot. I began seeing him in reflections, in the glass of rain-soaked windows, in the black sheen of the river at night, always just behind me, never near enough to touch, until one evening I walked beneath the temple bridge, and he stepped from the mist like it had held him for centuries. He wasn't quite man anymore. Something older shaped his shadow, a revenant perhaps, or the last spark of a god abandoned. But his eyes were still his, gray with flecks of violet, like lightning behind storm clouds. He said nothing at first, just reached out and pressed his palm to mine. And I remembered how we fought on opposite sides of the glass war, how I turned against the empire that made me, how we bled together in a ruin carved from bone, and how, in the end, I sacrificed my name, our love, to save him from the curse laid on our kind. Magic had grown jealous of emotion, so we made a trade. I would forget him, he would never die, and he had waited all this time. I collapsed into him like a wave finding its shore again. But eternity is cruel. He couldn't hold me without fracturing the spell. The more we remembered, the more the city began to decay, bridges collapsing mid-step, candles burning with blue flame, children dreaming things no child should know. Love like ours was unnatural now, outlawed by gods who feared what it could rebuild. "I don't want to lose you again," I whispered. "You never did," he said. "You gave me everything." And then, gently, he lifted the locket from my chest. His fingers shook. "I can take your memories again." He offered, "Let you live untouched." I looked at him, at the ruin and reverence in his face, and I made a choice. I don't want to forget anymore. We returned to the broken tree from my dream, in a place hidden beneath time's fabric. There, we said each other's names aloud together, and the world shuddered. Magic bent, not in rage, but in surrender. The curse fractured, the city didn't fall, but the sky wept golden rain for 3 days. We are not legends. We are not saviors. We are a girl who refused to forget and a boy who chose to wait. And we are finally real again.